Hello, welcome to Two Mondays Podcast. A new week, a new episode, and I'm excited about this particular episode. I have Bess. Bess is a friend on social media. I've seen his films, and he's really, really good. He's really, really good. And I have Saibu. He's a filmmaker. And Saibu prompted me to record this particular topic on men and their unspoken mental health. And I loved it. And May is even the month for mental health talk, education. So I'm pretty excited about this particular episode. Bess, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I've seen your movie. I saw Chin of the Mountain. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
I loved your role in it. You did one of the best Ghanaian movies.
Yeah, I agree.
Saibu, what's up? Everything
we're alive. Cool. Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah. I didn't even know you're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So this morning.
Yeah, I'm doing Adam the First.
I'm also a filmmaker.
Nice.
Yeah,
fantastic. So we should talk more about that.
Yeah, after the show, and I'm so happy that this is happening today.
Yeah.
So you prompted me to do this particular episode.
Right.
What triggered it?
Oh, because firstly, it's because of what you guys already do.
Okay.
You know, a lot of the topics that you cover and discuss. I think there are things that really should be discussed, right? Mm-hmm. But of course, with mental health, me being dealing with my own things, which we'll get into later on, and knowing how kind of prevalent it is in our space and stuff like that, I think that we discussing it sort of helps us get out of the stigma.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And thanks too for the heads up on this particular topic. So let's start. So Shaibu, what is mental health?
Well, they define it as the condition of a person regarding to their, psychological or mental, well-being. Mm-hmm. But which is apt, I suppose. Like that's kind of the bottle version of it. But I think that in general, like it's basically it's well-being completely. Because if you're not well up there, everything else is not going to work out.
Yeah.
So that is actually well-being. Mm-hmm. Mental health is your well-being.
Well-being, yeah. Best. Any idea about mental health?
For me, good mental health is peace. That's how I see it and how I will define it. If you're at peace, the other day I put a post on Facebook where I said, "Find your peace and you find your power." Mm-hmm. If you're not, your mind isn't disturbed, your mind is calm and what do you call it, and peaceful, then you're in a good place.
Yeah.
And anything that upsets that is mental illness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. However large or small we see it, anything that disturbs your mind and doesn't give your mind peace is mental illness, I think.
Yeah. So, Shaibu, types of mental health.
There's one type of mental health, which is when you're like in a good place, but there's different types of mental ailments that can bother you, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of them, but I think the ones I'm familiar with are like, bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic depression, those type of things. And they're actually more common. Chronic depression especially is actually something that's very big in Ghana. But people are not aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to go through that a lot.
Yeah.
Some years back, I used to go through that a lot. So let's talk about the statistics, Shaibu.
Right.
Yeah, of mental health. Statistics for men.
For men, in general, I've read in several different publications, but a lot of the times the percentage of men who are actually seeking help and reporting and stuff is always lower than women, And I think even more so here, because even women are not going out. Yeah. So that even puts the percentage of men almost to a negligible, place. So almost nobody is basically doing it.
Yeah. So, Bess, in African society, we have men have been ignored in the discussion of mental health. Mm-hmm. If yes, why so? Like, guys don't talk about mental health. Down here, we feel as a man, you're supposed to be certain way.
I think it's really sad that we think that way. We've, over the years, just been conditioned somehow, some way to be strong or look strong For me, I think being an actor also helps me recognize that vulnerability is actually a strength. And so that's what's helped me, even though I was born in the UK and I lived in the UK for a long number of years. I grew up accepting that it doesn't make a difference to how powerful I am, that I am vulnerable too. And, you know, being vulnerable means that I'm looking around me, making sure that things are in place that are not going to damage me one way or another. And that is a strength because you're taking care, you're ensuring yourself. And so, but most of us feel that, you know, as a man, we can handle anything.
Yeah.
And we have handled anything, and what do you call it? And stop lying to yourself. You're not all that. You're not all that. No one is. Nana Akufo-Addo isn't. Nobody is. You know?
True. Shall I be the same question to you? Why do you think we ignore the discussion when it comes to mental health?
In general, but I kind of want to more focus on Ghana specifically. I think that like here the thing is that we've been told that like we are aggressive. We've been told that we are supposed to present ourselves a certain way, right? An insult in this country will be that you're behaving like a woman.
Yeah,
you get it.
True.
So I think that if you come from that, it's almost like that's your operating system, right? So how are you going to go against that operating system and say, hey, you know, I think if I feel a certain way, I should be able to just say to somebody like, yo, this is how I'm feeling, without the person being like, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah, true.
You know, so I think that at the end of the day, it really is a deception of our culture, because I've read back into our history, and it used to be not like that. You know, before we were colonized, we were more of a harmonious collective. Right? When someone is feeling some way in the village, not even if in the clan or whatever, there are tribes in Africa who would bring you into a circle and tell you all the good things you mean to them to help your mental health. This is African shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. You know, but at the same time, because we moved past, we kind of forgot those things. We've taken on the narrative they've given us.
Yeah.
Africans are aggressive. You know, we don't understand things. We like fighting. We are violent. All these type of things. And you think it's true. And you grow up sort of with that mindset. You see it in our societies, women being, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, I get you. So, Bess, what is the major reason why men refuse to seek mental health, even when they need it?
To keep up appearances. That's what I think it is. Just to keep up appearances. And to show society that everything is cool. You know, and it's a time bomb, really. So that's the reason I would say.
Right.
Shaibu.
Yeah, and for me, that was one reason I was going to say. But since he said that one, another very dangerous one is the one where they don't even know that they have a problem. You get it? I've been online and I've seen some comments from people, and sometimes you can tell there's a person who literally does not even understand that they're coming from a place of like they're sick in the things that they're thinking or saying, and what they're, you know, like sometimes someone would die. Like in Ghana, you know, we post those everything. Go in the comments and see how many of the sociopaths and sick people, because they don't know that they're sick by finding some things funny. I mean, something is wrong with your mental if some weird thing is funny to you. Those type of things. So I think that's the other one, apart from those who are keeping up appearances. The other guys are the ones who just don't even realize they have a problem.
And how do you even come in terms of you realizing that you are sick, you need help?
I think it's all about the people around you too. Because if people in Ghana, it's very common for us to be afraid of a person who everybody knows has issues, right? So everybody's gonna treat them a certain way, and everybody normalizes the way they are.
Okay.
It's not here, right?
Yeah.
So he just thinks that's how he is. He doesn't think that he can be fixed. He just thinks, I've done like this since I was a kid. Everybody in the neighborhood knows. You get it, and we accept it.
I get you. It makes sense. It makes sense. Have you experienced any form of mental illness before?
Yeah. Sorry, man. Like, it's such a funny. Like, it hit me in a funny, in a very funny way. Like, have I? Yeah, man. Like, I've dealt with like some of the big ones actually, because I had other experiences. Because a lot of the time, that's one other thing. We don't talk about it. Experiences inform what issues you end up with. Mm-hmm. There's the general one everybody has, like depression. That one normal. Everybody gets that, right? But then there's steps to you being through like traumatic events or traumatic situations that can put you in a place. And so I went through a few things, and now I'm actually I basically living with bipolar disorder and PTSD.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I have dealt with. I am dealing with it actually. I am dealing with mental health at the moment.
I haven't been diagnosed myself, but I think that I go through short periods of having mental challenges that I have to deal with all the time, and I'm trying to constantly deal with them and sort them out through meditation most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm constantly dealing with, and I think most of us we're never fully like healthy. I don't think any of us are fully completely healthy and everything is sweet and nice constantly.
Yeah,
we're always dealing with those challenges.
Yeah,
I think myself, I feel privileged because I had a fantastic childhood. I had a really good relationship with my mom and my dad, and they really loved and adored me. And that helped me so much more with my mental health.
This is actually, I want to add on to that. That's actually great that you brought that up, because it's a very good juxtaposition. Because he had like this cool amazing growth, I had a cool dad too, but like I had a rocky like relationship with my parents, right? Because I was moving back and forth, like and I think that it really that was the genesis of my break point, because at a very young age, I'm weighing two people's merits. Depending on how much time I'm spending with each of them, and I'm making up my mind about who are these people, right? And I'm just supposed to be loved at this point. I'm just supposed to be given what do you call it, support, and anchor you so that you can be somebody. But then when they fight, it's your fight now, because now you're sitting there thinking, so which of them is actually, what's the deal here? Like which of them is the good one? But then I came from both, but and
it's
as
confusing.
a kid, you have homework and other stuff to do. And you have this also, So I think that sort of paves the way to end up with the diagnosis that I have.
And I think it's a really poignant point, because your mind as a child is still developing. So your relationship with your parents growing up is incredibly important and formative to the mental health that you eventually end up with.
100%.
Yeah, true. Abena, what's up?
Hi, Kojo.
So Abena was caught up in traffic, so she delayed a bit, but she's in.
But I'm actually enjoying.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Abena is my co-host on this show.
Hi,
that's you.
That's Abena.
I listen to you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is awesome.
She said, "This Shaibu, this is Best."
Hi, Shaibu.
You seen Best Face?
Yes.
The arts movie.
Yes, when I walked in, I was like,
you know him somewhere.
This guy.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Best spoke about his coping mechanism, that's meditation. So Shaibu, your coping mechanism?
Several. Because I actually, I'm diagnosed, so it's like not like I'm saying that in a happy way, because I'm not happy about it at all. I hope to one day get to a place where I don't worry about those things. But based on my history and stuff like that, if my mind is not in a certain state, it's a bit heavy for people around me, right? And I started off with, because I want to talk about this. This is very important to me. I started off with an SSRI that was in the family of the Prozac family and stuff when I was in the Air Force. And that rather led me to more weird, more suicidal thoughts, more attempts, I can't tell the number of times people have called the ambulance to my house when I was in the States. But, so during that time, this is around the time in California where they were talking about, medicating medical marijuana and all these type of things. And I went to my doctor and he said, hey, why don't you give this a try? Because I have nightmares. I'm hearing voices and shit. Excuse my French. You're going to hear a bunch of that too. When I get passionate, I drop a few bombs. But so you kind of have these things, and as a normal, imagine if, I don't think you have reached like audio hallucinations and stuff like that yet.
No.
Which is a good thing. You don't want to get to that place, right? I've been lying and I start hearing like, there's this thing that I forgot what it's called, but you hear like gunshots or, not from war or anything. It's just sounds, like loud sounds, loud bangs and stuff, right before I go to bed. So I could go and boom, and I'll get up, right? And the medicine kind of made it even more vivid. Instead of
clearing it.
They're not supposed to help you.
And that's the thing. That's what they say. They have to calibrate it. Like they keep having to adjust based on the person. And that's why. So when they recommended marijuana for me, and I tried it, the reason why I've stuck with it, because you're asking me about my coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
I've stuck with it because unlike all the other things, it's the only thing that has remained consistent. Like even my new medicine that I have. Bex actually knows about this new medicine that I have. I have I was giving a antipsychotic right before I came back 9 months ago, I think. Yeah, and that's that's one of the ones they give to like real crazy people, right? And I'm supposed to be taking half of it, but because I've been here for so long without my doctor calibrating. Last time I took that same half, it messed up my entire day. Because you have to whenever I go with the white people medicine. That's the problem. It seems like it makes my issue worse. Like it actually comes in and compounds the situation. My wife even last time I took it just a few months ago, I had a full-blown episode. He called me and I was cussing him out. I'm glad you're here because people get to know that these things are real. But but whenever I do have my medication, I'm cool. And I'm more creative actually. I was always creative, but when you go through certain things, it kills a certain spirit in you. You stop wanting to deal with make believe when you're in a certain mood. There's days when I sit down and I just think everything I'm doing is the stupidest thing in the world.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm just really movies. Who gives a shit, right? But that's not true. It's just it's an information that, because it's a sickness, it's something that it's like headache, or if you get this corona that's going on, it goes into your system with a mission, right?
Yeah.
And that's what mental health is. That when you have a mental health issue, it's in there with a mission. And I think the way you cope with it is if you're able to figure out what the mission is. And you know that, okay, this thing always makes me want to do things, crazy things, right?
Yeah. So
whenever you think those things, you ask yourself, am I thinking it? Or is it the guy? So I've personalized it, kind of that's you. Now I'm going to answer a question you've been asking, you've not had an answer to for a very long time. Another thing I was diagnosed with was dissociative personality disorder, right? Depending on what era of my life I've been in, apparently I kind of create people. I'm literally a different person from time to time. That's why I don't like being called Maystar anymore, because he's a crazy guy. He's not a person I like. I wrote a song about it. It's I killed the Maystar, right? Because I did. I had to do that. You have to go through that, because it's in your head, but it's real, right? So you have to go through all that, So for me, that's my coping mechanism. I'm going to sort of acknowledge it all the time. It's present every day,
And I think also, the solution to many problems is being able to recognize that it is a problem.
Yeah.
And once you manage to recognize that this is a problem, you're well on your way to coping with it in the least, or getting rid of it totally at the most.
Yeah, true.
You know?
True.
All right. So best, let me go with you.
Bex, don't get it twisted.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
But
sorry.
I always play on that word,
Bex with the best.
Bex.
you know. It's
Forgive
not long,
me.
twisted, or complex. It's just Bex.
Bex.
And I'm not saying
He started
Bex
off with
is
his
the
rhymes.
best.
I knew it. I was hoping no one was starting off.
Okay. So can we draw an inference between toxic masculinity and mental health?
That toxic masculinity is so complicated because it has been so twisted and turned and mixed up as if somebody is using dough on it. Because for me, for example, I don't see anything wrong with me being a man. I am a man. I am manly. And what's wrong with that? You know, I like women and I do all the manly things and I'm competitive and and I don't think there's anything wrong with being an alpha male. But some people see that and then begin to associate it with toxic masculinity, when I don't think it is toxic masculinity. It is toxic anybody if you're using it to hurt someone. And I know a lot of toxic females, you know, and they can be passive but incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, man.
That's a hard one.
And that is toxic.
Yeah.
So when anybody uses the word toxic masculinity, it almost comes to a point where they're beginning to almost label all men as at least potentially toxic.
Yeah.
Or men are toxic.
Right.
We're not. We're males. We're alpha males. We're loving males. We're everything males. We're males. We're human beings. So I won't say toxic masculinity informs mental health. I say toxic human beings create mental health issues.
Okay, so your problem is everyone just putting men in a box with that toxicity, right?
Yes,
right.
But it's supposed to be like generalization. Every human being. It doesn't have to be a man. Because we have females who are also toxic.
Yes,
That's what you're trying to say.
yes, that's how I say it.
Shaibu, can you give me a take on
Yes,
that? Do you agree with him?
I actually do, but
Okay.
I want to add something to that also. You see, I feel like the way they innately think that there's a discourse out there that sort of has been pushing this thing like...
Sorry, I think women have, they've had experiences with
I know that.
some men.
That's what I'm getting at.
why-
I'm getting there, yeah. Like, I feel like there's this thing that has been innately put out there because there's men who have abused women, there's
Yes.
men who beat women, there's men who
Exactly.
rape and all these type of things. So, and yes, in the world, the proportion of that happening is higher with men than
Yes.
women. Yes.
Yes.
But we're forgetting the socio-economic factors that are helping that be the case. If you're in places where women are more successful, it's about the same. It's power. Who has the power? And the person who has the power, what's up here?
Oh, okay.
You get it? So it's about, like he said, it's human beings having issues.
Okay.
And yes, there's a majority of men who are being recorded to have those issues. Because we're also forgetting another thing. Hardly does a man come out and complain about a woman being toxic to him. So there's a lot that is not even being recorded.
Yeah, true.
You get
true.
it? So, sure, the only truth to that matter is, we have more males recorded to have done this thing,
Okay.
right? Recorded to have shown this behavior, recorded to have this mental illness. Because it is a mental illness if you're out there raping people, you know,
Yes.
and all these type of things,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes,
beating
yeah.
women, all these, you know, it is, you have an issue and you need help, you know, but I don't think it's a gender specific issue. I just think that because of the way the world is, we live in a patriarchal world. Men have more of the power, which I don't want to get into that debate, but that's the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
And
That's
based
absolutely
on
true.
that, that's what it is. If anyone goes to a girls only school, they'll tell you
Yeah.
the cruel type of people they
Yeah.
live. You get it?
Yeah.
I went to an all-girls school.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you know it's not a man thing.
Yeah.
Sociopaths come in all shapes and sizes.
And you know we're talking about mental. We're talking about mental health, right?
Yeah.
Yes. In men.
In men.
In men specifically,
Okay,
but
in men
generally,
specifically, but you know, the men. You know, you can have emotional abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That so I don't even need to touch you. I can rape you emotionally without even getting close to you.
True.
Whatsoever.
Okay.
And any human being is capable of doing that. And I've
I think
seen.
I want to know more about that. How does that work?
Okay, we can get into that. There's a lot that. Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
seen women vicious as anything to each other, particularly
Yeah.
emotionally.
That's true.
Yeah.
That can bring someone to even commit suicide.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah, true.
Women can gang up on a fellow woman, or even men can
too,
gang up on a fellow man. And bring them to a point where they're absolutely devastated. Their mental health is completely shot, and they will do things to themselves.
True.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope,
Yeah.
mental health. But I really do believe that in all of those cases, there is a mental health problem present.
Yes.
I do believe that. I think there's a problem present in all those cases, regardless of what spectrum it lands on.
Yeah. True.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys asked this before I came back. I think there's an increased rate of suicide in men more than
Yeah.
women. Is it because men are not able to express their feelings?
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest thing. I mean, I've crossed that hurdle a long time ago.
Or
But
there's
back in the day,
another reason why?
yeah, back in the day when I wasn't talking to people and I was always just trying to take my own life, the motivation behind it was that really, as a man, most of the time when you even start thinking that, you already feel like you have failed in life.
Yeah. True.
As a man, like the first time you get that thought, you're like, wow, I'm one of those guys now. What am I even doing here?
Yeah.
Like, what am I even doing? Like, it's a wrap. Like, I'm already here talking about jumping off cliffs. Dude, it's done. No one is going to like me if they ever hear this, True. But I think that if a man is out there or men out there who feel like that, I really think that they need to know that there's a vast multitude of possibilities on the other side of that. Of coming and letting people know that, hey man, look, this is how I feel. Like, I don't know. And that's what I do now. He deals with it all the time because I don't quote, like, I sugarcoat anything with him. I just, like, he hits me up, hey, how are you doing? I want to die. What's up?
That's dark.
Straight up, man. Like, but the thing is, my therapy is once I've put it out there,
It helps.
I'm on a stage now.
Oh, okay.
And when I'm on a stage, I'm thinking about the people who are watching me.
Okay.
You get it? I'm thinking about it. Like, he doesn't know this, but there's days when I'm saying those things, the thing that keeps me, I'm thinking of my daughter. I'm thinking about all these people. But yeah, I also think about him. Dude, he's going to borrow money. He's helped me go get money from people to make a movie and all this. The movie's not even out yet, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Okay.
But if you don't put it out there, your mind keeps giving you reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes someone will even make a post that ain't got shit to do with you, but because you are in the state, that's how you feel.
Make it about you.
Yeah, you say, that's how you feel. All right, nigga. And then you see another dude or a girl say something. Oh, so that's how you feel. Wow, so they just hate me in this world today. And you forget that, it's in your head, bro. Like, I didn't see your name in the thing. You gotta have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
That's really what I've been doing. Like, so that's why I always say watch Dexter, because there's a very good way they were able to portray mental health that I think people should see. In movies, you see a person having a conversation with another person. It's real, but because it's in your head, we don't realize that this is a split-second thing. Your brain processes so much in a second. It's just movies get to slow that down for people to see.
Yeah.
So I think that's the process. Like, you're able to have a conversation with yourself. Like, yo, what's up? You really have that real hard conversation too. Like this when you get up and you say, I don't have anybody. We all think that, right?
Yeah.
We say it.
Every single
But
day.
it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie. In fact, like me, my wife is lying right next to me. What the fuck are you talking about? Your daughter is right over there. You see what I'm saying? Like, What do you mean you don't have anybody? You have this dude who is always texting you every fucking morning, like, good morning, brother. So what are you talking about? You have to have that conversation with yourself. If you don't do that, you will really build yourself. Like, it's a narrative, and that's what mental health is. Your brain is broken, so it's just putting things, like a computer. It's putting things together in a weird way. So you have to be able to sift through and say, hey man, okay, let's debug this issue. You get it?
Yeah.
And another aspect of this is people need to realize, even someone like me who's not diagnosed, my real name is Agbeko. Agbeko, if you will understand, means only life. So life is all that is possible. So I'm really, most of the time, incredibly positive about staying alive. And yet, I think about killing myself.
You get it?
And yet, I have a gun in my house. And I've thought several times about the feeling of it in my mouth and pulling the trigger and what will happen. And I'm thinking, shit, no, maybe I shouldn't shoot my mouth because then it will blow my face.
Yeah, you want your face to look nice.
They won't see
the thought that goes into this.
Honestly,
serious.
I think about these things. And I'm thinking about how they'll dress me, which where, who will be there, what the funeral will be there. Would they have a bus? All the people I play tennis with, would they all travel to my village to go to the funeral? I think in those details.
Yeah.
And yet, I'm a very positive person about staying alive. So, if there's anyone here who thinks that it is out there, there are other people who think about this, I'm the only one who thinks about this, you're not.
Yeah.
We are all here together. We're all part of this. Yeah. And it happens to any of us.
Yeah. True.
I can actually relate to a lot of the things you're saying, and I'm actually really glad that I'm here today.
That's blessed.
It's helping a lot. Okay, so Shaibu, let me start with you with this one. You've lived in Ghana, you've lived abroad. So what's the difference approach to helping men through mental health?
Yeah.
Different from up there, down here?
There's still, over there, they are way ahead of us, but there's still work to be done there as well.
Okay.
But the biggest difference is, yes, I think within the last 10 years or something like that, it's become less. In fact, there's even people who have become famous now in America based on their mental health. You get it?
Yeah.
Because some people found out they had an issue, and people, like, now there's a lot of love being sent towards people with mental health. But that has also now created a very weird issue in America now, because it's almost, okay, which is it? Are you saying it for the attention, or do you really have this issue? You get it? So all of every level we get to, there's nuances to go. But the biggest difference is that at least out there it's a bit more accepted for you to have those type of conversations. Here, if you start having those type of conversations, people avoid you.
Sure.
Yeah.
They will not say they don't want to hear it. They'll just think that, Charlie Hardo.
I know.
Then that's it. Like the next time you're like, yo, Charlie, what's up? I go see my party before this year. Oh, for real? And then he's lying. He's at home. He's right next door, but he doesn't want to see you because he's like, this guy, I'm gonna go sit next to him. Yeah, he says some things.
Yeah, true.
So
make me uncomfortable.
But at the same time, I do think that within a certain community, there's a group of people that are sort of coming up. I think in our generation, it's becoming more of a conversation within like those who are, like 30 going down. It's becoming more of a thing, and I think that's because of social media and stuff. You're seeing cross, what's it called, culturalism going on. So we're picking up things like how we're talking toxic masculinity. When you say that word in Ghana just 10 years ago, people will look at you like, what?
True.
So progress is happening though, so at least that's something.
But if you find out that this is happening to you and you'd want to seek help, do we have that help available, like a therapist, a system in place?
Here, no. In the States, yes. Oh, that's easy. Like, I've here, no, not at all. I don't even know. But I've actually wanted to sort of get a volunteer thing going. But it's all about logistics.
Sure.
I've had the idea, but you got to find the right people and all that. Because in America, we have that. We have a suicide hotline.
Okay.
Every night.
But
people
we don't have
volunteer.
that
We don't
here.
have that here. We
So
need
what
it.
if someone is suicidal here and has never traveled outside?
I think we have that here because during
We do?
the lockdown, I saw numbers flying about. If
And there was a
if you have
suicide hotline?
mental issues during the lockdown.
Oh,
you can
okay.
call them.
Yeah, so
I think maybe
you know,
that's related to the
COVID,
virus.
most
here.
likely. But I don't think
But it
we
wasn't
have
really a
a
thing.
real thing that is just
Dedicated.
there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even the one in America was a private started thing. It's people who start these things.
Okay.
So it's up to us to help each other.
Yeah.
You get it? So I don't mind. I feel like maybe if we had like a focus group or like a what do you call it? Like a group on like Facebook or something,
Yeah.
mental health group where we can just sort of share.
Support
That's the
group.
beginning.
That's really cool.
That's the start. You
Yeah.
get it? At least, you know, I think that would help us. And I think on there also we can do that thing where I've seen this method where people send it to the admin,
Okay.
their
yeah.
issue, and then it's anonymized.
Yeah.
So the person just puts
Go and
the
just-
issue up front, and people kind of give their takes. But most of the time in mental health groups, they don't allow toxic people and people that come out and say stupid stuff like, you know, jump off, kill yourself. Those type of people, you get banned. That has to be part of it because you are not here. Yeah, you are there to help people. You're not there
Yeah.
to put them down because they're coming there at their worst possible moment.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Okay, Bex.
Obviously, you know, the UK, they have the NHS, they have all kinds of
Okay,
resources.
so you lived in the US, you lived in
Yeah.
the
Yeah, they have all kinds of resources for all kinds of things. You go, you tell your doctor that your lip is hurting you, they sorted you, what they call it. NHS is just wonderful. So they have everything over there. Ghana, we don't. We just simply don't. And most of the time, you go, if you have a problem, first of all, you're even nervous to go and talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
And then when you talk to someone, and you see the problem is this, you're nervous to talk to someone. And when you talk to someone, when you finally find the courage to talk to someone, and they just dismiss it as something,
Yeah.
it makes it even worse. It means that
True.
that thing has jumped from the garage into the basement and has been locked up, and they've sealed it. Now to draw that person from that, what they call it, but the thing is not going to go away.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still going to be there.
Yeah.
What's it called? So, you know, we need this education, this podcast, and all these things. This information needs to go out there so people understand that. Let's allow people to air these things. And then, like he says, he's then on the stage, and it gives them the ability to then think about the repercussions of those thoughts and reasons why they shouldn't go that way, reasons why there is hope, reasons why not even someone else providing the hope, but you yourself recognizing it for yourself.
Yeah.
So we can all, I think, even compared to the West, if we as a society are able to talk to each other and air these things, we will be even stronger than what they have in the West.
Yeah.
Because the West, you have to get some time, get off work, go and see some therapist that you don't know. But imagine if you are talking to your brother or your sister who is aware of these things. They will provide you even more tools and easier tools to do better.
Yeah.
And
So
we come
it's-
from,
yes.
not to cut you off, like
Yeah,
we come
go
from a naturally communal
Communal.
environment.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Because think about it, when someone dies, look at all the love we get that's
Yeah.
outpouring. You get it? It's there already.
Yes.
We just need to know that the person, like, we need to also have that urgency
See, when they are alive.
when they're alive. It's there. We just have to direct it. Like, hey man, they need this when it's get like when people new one just happened with this preacher that they made fun of because he said he made a wrong my daughter.
Yeah.
And he apparently he went downhill because
Yeah.
of that whole issue.
Yeah.
Because people were cyberbullying him. And
Yeah.
stuff like
True.
you get it.
True.
Mental health is such a complicated thing, and this is somebody who used to give hope to people,
Exactly.
and they like you can see how your mental can take you complete. And now we don't realize if you are giving hope to somebody and you falter, what have you done? You get it, and that's why we need each other. That's the real reason that we need each other.
True. True.
Okay, so now as men or as a society
Right.
in general here, what's the way forward to help mental health? Like
Right.
how do we make it more normal.
Yeah, I think
As
that
Twitter was saying, how do we
normalize it. Yeah, I think the main thing is actually more pious for that aspect of it, because it's true. Men are more sort of on the back burner when it comes to this thing. But I think that the main thing is for us to stop attaching our worth based on perception.
Yeah.
Only attach who you think you are for who you really are. Don't worry about what others are thinking you are.
Okay.
You know. And once that's a hurdle I was able to get over just a few years ago. That is one of my biggest mental issues. It's like a lot of little things that are actually, they're little, but when we are in the space, it's bigger than it is, right? Yeah, so it's one of those things. I think that if you understand that you are not your issues are there, but you are not that thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can handle it, you can control it, it's all you. But also understand that it's also still you when the shit hits the fan. Accept that. That's you. And also let everyone around you know that. You know, because now with people around me, when I'm in an episode, they know. And they just chill. You get it?
Yeah.
They don't say anything to me that might influence it. When I'm saying things, you know, they don't argue with you or something. They'll just sort of be like, oh, that's how you feel? Okay, I'm really sorry you feel that way. Or they'll tell you, that's not true. Like if I say, I don't have anybody, I'm like, well, what am I doing here? You get it.
Yeah.
But so long as you're talking, that's the thing. Talk, just speak to a person. That's really the thing. Talk to somebody who is receptive to that. You
That's
have to.
important.
That is very
Not
important.
just anyone.
Not just anybody. Like I mean, hopefully we want to get to a place where most people are receptive. You can just be walking down the street and feel a way and be like, oh brother, I'm feeling this way. Can you hear me out? We want that, but right now that's not where we are. So you look for people who get it, like people they get it and stuff. I used to have this actually before we came on. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine in the States, Brianne. We met in a help group, and we do that for each other. In fact, the last text she sent me, we joke with each other. I'm gonna show this to you so you know that this is legit. She says, "What did she say? Read it."
So what's going on with your bipolar episode? Do you need someone to lean on?
And then
The Michael Jackson thing.
That's
it.
You get it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get it. That is where we are. You get it. So that's what we need in our lives. We need that energy. We're like, yo, is your shit happening again? You need help? You can joke about it. Because in many ways it's kind of funny, to be honest. When you're off of it, like there's a lot of episodes I look back and I laugh my ass to death because I'm just like, yo, I can't believe I was really sitting here. Because one day I was sitting that night, I was sitting on the road and you would not believe this, but I was sitting there trying to figure out the perfect car that should hit me. That would be poetic for me. What kind of car would be befitting for my death? So I'm sitting in front of the road, and at that time I'm so into it, and I'm thinking I'm like the most, like I'm just in Zen. I'm so smart. I'm such a artistic motherfucker, right? But then I think about it, I'm like, yo, that's dumb, man. Like, that's kind of stupid. Like, what the fuck? Like, honestly, and I was serious. Like, I was sitting there like a car would be coming. It's a semi, nah, and like a small car. Come on, man. Like he got hit by a Picanto. What the fuck? Like, I'm like, nah, I want to die. So I'm sitting there, honestly, like, just think about how. Now that I'm not in that episode, I can say it, like, just how dumb that is. Like, you're sitting there thinking, I'm waiting for the perfect, like, the most expensive, like, a very nice car to come and hit me, so it will look good. Just, like, what? Yeah. Like, you're gonna die. You know?
Yeah.
So, I feel like we get to a place where we can sort of see the funny in it. And we can joke with each other, so long as it's not, like, mean-spirited and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
People can be mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
So, Bex, what about you? What do you think?
I think in this conversation, we have spoken so much about what we could do. And like this podcast and talking about it and getting it out to the general media and getting people to know about it is the strongest way we can help each other and we can combat mental health. is the strongest way. It has to
get it out there.
Yeah, we have to get it out there and change people's perceptions and get people to think deeply about it. And also for people to actually recognize that we are all victims of it.
Yeah.
You know, we are all victims of it.
Different levels, but...
Go see how Bill Gates is suffering because everybody is talking about him and his antiviral, what they call it. Meanwhile, he's got billions in the bank, which is what they call it. And he's going on programs, talking, trying to push
to explain.
If he was mentally together, he would be like, cool, me, I don't care. I'm sitting in my corner, But he has an issue. It bothers you know. It bothers him. You know.
Yeah.
So let's not think that we are all safe. You know, every man thinks his burden is the heaviest, as Bob Marley says, you know.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Shaibu,
Yeah, man.
I'm so grateful. I've learned a lot. I also had some episodes of chronic depression some years back, and God being so good, I've come out of it. I'm still dealing with it in between time. And
I mean, it's there. Whenever it's there, it's there. But
I'm so happy we discussed this thing today. I've learned a lot. Your closing remarks.
Yeah, for me, I'm also very happy that we're having the conversation, because for years now I've sort of been wanting to share my thoughts on these things, especially just being somebody who is like in it 24/7. Like I could leave here right now and I mean it's not gonna happen, but it wouldn't be shocking if I left here right now tomorrow morning. You're like, yo, well, he did it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
Right? Never gonna happen because I'm gonna be here for a while. But but you know, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in, so I've also wanted to sort of be sort of like an outreach, kind of try to come together and, you know, get people to talk about it.
Not to cut you short, I'll connect you to a friend. She blogs about mental health for all these years. She has a blog and she has a YouTube page too. Okay. So in between time, she talks about mental health. She's a nurse.
Oh, nice.
And she's been through that episode.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she's called Afia Jamai.
All right.
Yeah, so you can check afiajamai.com. Everything on there is about mental health.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
so
I'll connect
you to her. Yeah.
So I would say in closing that really we should just be honest, like about mostly to ourselves about what's going on, you know, with us. You know, a girl might have left you and you're thinking things, right? You could have maybe lost a job, or hey, you might have just witnessed somebody die,
or maybe grief. Yeah, that's
you get
important.
it. You may have witnessed a death or something. You have these things. These are tenets of a human being's life. Those events that I've mentioned, and they always do a little bit of a damage to your psyche. So if we're gonna just keep being strong, that's fine. But everything breaks at some point.
Yeah.
If it's not being given breaks, if you get it, you break. If you don't break, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. If you don't take the breaks, eventually you can't take everything else. You know. So you gotta. I think that what really is that we just have to try as much as possible to be honest with ourselves and talk about it. Like speak out. Like say what you're feeling. And if one person is not receptive, someone else might be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, true. Best.
I would like to focus on vulnerability. Vulnerability is strength. The fact that my breath, the fact that the fact that I feel like crying, all of those things do not make you any less of a human being. Do not make you any less looked down on. You know, it's all part of it. And the fact that, Charlie, I'm strong, I can do anything, I'm powerful, and what they call it, is just in the same measure as the mabre and the I can't do it and what they call it. And it doesn't have any reflection on who you are. And you know the measure of you as a human being and the value you have to your loved ones and the people around you.
Yeah, true.
You're both. So I just want to encourage everybody to recognize that we are all always, whether we feel great or we feel bad, we're always still valuable. And we always need each other and we're always required here.
True. True.
Definitely, everybody is needed.
Very important.
Have any closing remarks?
Today has been very hectic. So I just I came into a very heavy conversation, and I've actually really I've been educated, and I think my perception on a lot of things is going to change. I'm going to be more open-minded, because usually we put men in a box and kind of make them feel like, oh, you're a man, so you're not supposed to have these feelings, you're not supposed to have these thoughts, but they're actually also human beings, and I'm actually glad you guys came over to educate all of us on this.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I was late again.
Oh yeah, no worries. Ghana stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kojo.
Yeah. So what Beth said is true. When you're vulnerable, it's a superpower. So when I was going to my chronic depression and all that, that was the right time. I also took time to write my book, and the book will be out. The poetry will be out, I think, a few months to come.
All right.
To be out. So I was able to share my grievances and things I never spoke about growing up, and things I went through as a man and all that. So yeah, we should embrace yourself.
I think it's also true that people with mental health, not that it's a good thing, but they are most creative when they are going through a lot. You're able to finish a book.
Right. There's a lot. Actually, there's a lot more to talk about. I want us to finish, then we can really have a conversation.
Next time we can have another conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't mean to make it about me, because
No.
about men.
I feel you 100%. I want to have that conversation.
Yeah, had thoughts and all that. So I'm actually glad that you've spoken about it, and I'm going to appreciate life more now. And thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. Shaibu, best.
Thank you so much, Shaibu.
So God willing, next week we'll bring another episode. Bye.
Bye.